This is the Weekly Geek News Show, episode 13 for December 19th, 2014. I am Mike Lewis, your host, who is the geek of many things, and I am the master of none of them. This is a show where I review the news from the past week in tech and pop culture. I will search the web for the latest in geek news so you don't have to. Now, for next week, it is Christmas, and I'm going to be off from work, and I'm going to be busy having fun and playing with my kids, and I'm still trying to decide whether I will do a show next week. I'll be off for Christmas, which is, I believe, Thursday? I don't remember. Anyways, and I may not have time to put something together. We will see if I do or not. So let's get on with the news for the week, and first off, there was a lot of movie news this week. No, not trailers, but just news in upcoming movies. First off, things that we learned from the Sony hacks this week. And if you're not familiar with what the Sony hacks are, I touched on it a little bit in last week's show. But this is about a group of hackers who broke into Sony Pictures computers 2 weeks back in what is said to frighten Sony from releasing their upcoming movie, The Interview, with Seth Rogen and James Franco. Now, this is a comedy brought to you by Seth Rogen and James Franco, where they go to North Korea to try to get an interview with Kim Jong-un. It also includes a fake death of Kim Jong-un. So the FBI is pointing to North Korea being behind these attacks because they do not want this information to get out or any sort of bad news for North Korea. So they've attacked Sony Pictures. However, one bright side of all this information that is coming from the emails and documents that were leaked in the hack was a bunch of movie news. And I'm going to start off with what I think is one of the most important one of those pieces of news, which is the Spider-Man custody battle. Well, more has been learned about the Sony and Marvel Disney trying to control the creative future of the Spider-Man character. Marvel originally wanted to introduce Spider-Man into their cinematic universe in Captain America Civil War. And this would be nice since, the fact that Spider-Man plays a large part in the story from the comic books. Unfortunately, Sony and Marvel could not reach an agreement. Sony was not interested in putting the web crawler into Civil War for a cameo for his first appearance in the overall Marvel universe. Sony thinks that the upcoming two-part Avengers Infinity War films may be a better fit to introduce Spider-Man, and from there, a new solo Spider-Man film would be able to be developed. Now, if Marvel does get control of Spider-Man for the new films, they would plan on wiping the slate clean of Sony's Amazing Spider-Man universe and is not interested in bringing Andrew Garfield back as Peter Parker. Both studios actually believe that Spider-Man's origin story has been retold many, many times, and any new movie would begin with Peter Parker already as Spider-Man. Thank you very much. I'm getting sick of origin stories. Let's just put these characters into the stories and move them forward. Instead of taking a whole, another hour, 2 hours to talk about how he became Spider-Man, because we've seen it so many times. Well, talks between Sony and Marvel will return next year, and as for now, Marvel president Kevin Feige is said to be happy with how the deal is shaping up. Now, it is planned that Captain America the Winter Soldier directors Joe and Anthony Russo would develop a new trilogy for Marvel. Also from Sony, looks like the X-Men may be meeting up with the Fantastic Four in future films. This is more leaks from the Sony hacks. The Daily Beast is reporting that Fox may be planning a crossover event that would feature both the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, who own the screen rights for both teams. Producer Avi Arad is planning on making a new Super Mario Bros. Movie. Arad has obtained the movie rights from the game franchise from Nintendo. He is known as the producer of every live-action Spider-Man movie made from Sam Raimi trilogy through the recent Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. The plan, as of now, is for the movies to be animated features and not live-action, as was done in late 80s, early 90s. Also, for Ghostbuster spinoff, the Sony hacks, we learn a lot about the future of the Ghostbuster franchise. In addition to the all-female team reimagining film and development, which is coming in a few years, there's also a plan in the works for a separate spin-off Ghostbusters movie starring Channing Tatum and Chris Pratt. Also, Ryan Gosling's name popped up in a Sony email stating that Gosling wants in on a future Ghostbusters project. How would that be? Channing Tatum, Chris Pratt, Ryan Gosling. That'd be kind of a fun, comedic Ghostbusters group. Now, that's it with the Sony hacks, but under the Disney umbrella, Marvel and Netflix have released new photos from the upcoming Daredevil Netflix series. These photos show Matt Murdock in an early version of the Daredevil costume. The synopsis of this story is Marvel's Daredevil is a live-action series that follows the journey of attorney Matt Murdock, who in a tragic accident was blinded as a boy, but imbued with extraordinary senses. Murdock sets up practice in his old neighborhood of Hell's Kitchen, New York, where he now fights against injustice as a respected lawyer by day and a masked vigilante at night. Now, this TV series or Netflix series is set to premiere in 2015. There is new information about the upcoming film for the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. In an interview with the IGN, Orlando Bloom said that he has been in talks with Disney to reprise his role as Will Turner. Bloom said, quote, "Basically, they want to reboot the whole franchise, I think, and do something with me in the relationship with my son. I'm of course Davy Jones now, so I'm down at the bottom of the ocean." This film is set to be released in theaters July 7th, 2017. Disney released the names of the characters seen in the Star Wars The Force Awakens trailer this week in the form of retro-style Topps trading cards. These are designed to look like Topps trading cards from the original Star Wars movie in 1977. We learned a lot of the names, including the rolling droid, which is named BB-8. And we also learned something else about the droid BB-8. If you'd really like that, you would happy to know that the droid is an actual robot and not CGI. BB-8 is made with practical effects and not computer generated. Mark Hamill revealed this week in an interview with Yahoo Movies, he said, quote, "When they were demonstrating how they did this thing live on set, because it's not CGI, that's a live prop, I was just amazed. Hey, let me play around with it. I was running it all around at the creature shop." While not all effects can be accomplished with practical effects, it is nice to see that the team behind the new Star Wars film is working hard on making a nice mix of both practical and computer effects. This week, we got a closer detailed look at Iron Man that will appear in the upcoming Avengers Age of Ultron movie, thanks to the release of the new Hot Toys 1/6 scale figure. The figure is based on the image of Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark and in Avengers Age of Ultron, and it's made of die-cast metal. Currently, no price or release date on this figure. However, it is most likely going to come in around $300 to $350, which is similar to the past Iron Man figures from Hot Toys. Now, ever since Disney purchased Lucasfilm, the focus on projects has mostly been on the Star Wars and the Star Wars franchise. Variety senior editor Mark Grasser had a talk with Disney CEO Robert Iger this past week, and on Twitter wrote that Disney Bob Iger said, "Disney's Bob Iger, we'd love to make another Indiana Jones movie, but we're pacing ourselves right now. Launching Star Wars first." Now, there are various rumors having surfaced the past few years on the future of the Indiana Jones, including a new film that was already in development prior to the Disney purchase under Steven Spielberg. Also, what actor would take the mantle of the archaeologist from Harrison Ford? Talks have been with Bradley Cooper and Robert Pattinson. They were the front runners to take over the role. So this would be sort of a James Bond type of role where the same character can be taken on by different actors, which would be kind of cool because he would never age and we can have continuing adventures as long as we like the actors, because I know with the Bond films, not everybody likes all the Bond actors. Now, when Star Wars Rebels returns to Disney XD in January, a familiar voice will appear on the screen, kind of on the screen. An episode called Path of the Jedi will include Yoda reaching out with the Force to Jedi Master Kanan. Yoda will be portrayed once again by Frank Oz, so the original voice will return, and it will be through maybe like more of a vision or a voice to the Jedi Master. Now, if you're not familiar with Star Wars Rebels, this is an animated series on Disney XD, set 5 years before the events of the Star Wars original trilogy. Other Star Wars film alums that have appeared on the series, James Earl Jones as Darth Vader, Anthony Daniels, of course, as C-3PO on a lot, and Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian, is also planned for a yet-to-be-revealed future episode. Now, we went from Star Wars, let's go to Star Trek for changes for Star Trek 3 movie. Now, after J.J. Abrams left to direct the new Star Wars film, Paramount hired on Roberto Orci to direct Star Trek 3. However, Paramount has dropped Orci as director due to creative differences. The differences? Well, the studio now wants Star Trek 3 to be more like Guardians of the Galaxy. They want more aliens with starring roles and more of a fun feeling to the film, not so serious. So Star Trek 3 director's shortlist as of now, was reported by Deadline as this week, then 4 names have come up, including Rupert Wyatt, who directed Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Morton Tildum, The Imitation Game, Daniel Espinosa, who directed Safe House, and Justin Lin, the director of the Fast and the Furious movies. Roberto Orci will still be attached to Star Trek 3 as a producer. Sony's big screen adaptation from the Pixel movie by French filmmaker Patrick Jean's short film of the same name has released this week a trio of new posters. This movie has Adam Sandler, Josh Gad, Peter Dinklage, and they form a trio of old-school arcade champions that are the world's only hope against invading aliens that misinterpret Earth's video games at the declaration of war. This movie is to be released on July 24, 2015. If you have a chance, watch the original short film that came out a few years on YouTube. It is very good and very fun to watch, and it's actually only about 4 minutes long. There is a new name for the future Skull Island movie from Legendary Pictures. It has been announced that the upcoming King Kong prequel will now be called Kong Skull Island, as before it was just called Skull Island. The studio has also moved the release date back from November 4th, 2016 to March 10th, 2017 to give them more time to produce the film. Now, the movie is also planned to be in 3D and IMAX 3D. Of course, you would want to see an IMAX 3D. It's been fun watching Legendary Pictures come out with all these large monster and robot movies such as Godzilla and then King Kong now coming soon. And also Guillermo del Toro's robot film. What's that called? I know this movie. With the Jaegers and everything. Anyways, it was a great movie. I liked it a lot. Moving on to the next story before I embarrass myself anymore. On New Year's Day, Netflix will lose the licenses for many movies and TV series, including River Runs Through It, Backdraft, Batman, Beethoven, Beverly Hills Cop, Boys in the Hood, Braveheart, Far and Away, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, seasons 1 and 2, and that's the 80s cartoon. Gladiator, Happy Gilmore, Hitch, My Girl, Red Dawn, Spaceballs, Stargate, Titanic, Tombstone, You've Got Mail, and many more. So, if you have vacation this holiday season, sounds like, and you want to watch a lot of these, go ahead and start binge watching these movies before they are taken away from Netflix. And on the other side of streaming movies, video is Hulu, and they're offering a free streaming preview over the holidays for Android users in the United States. Hulu will be offering many popular shows and be part of its free Share the Joy of the Seasons promotion on Android. Episodes from the current seasons of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Sleepy Hollow, and South Park and other series will be available. Now, usually, the past few episodes for these series are always available, but if you would like to watch all seasons and all episodes of those seasons, you will be able to do that with this Share the Joy promotion. In technology, Samsung would like a piece of the mobile payment pie, just as Apple Pay has done as it launched early this year. Now, they're getting closer to debuting their own wireless payment system via NFC, near-field communication, on phones. Now, they are partnering with Loop Pay to create a competing service to Apple Pay, and a prototype of the payment system has already been created. It's a matter of time before we see it come out to the Samsung phones and other devices. Google has announced the top search results around the world for 2014, and the top search results include Robin Williams, Ebola virus, and the World Cup. Frozen topped all movie searches, and Game of Thrones led the TV series. Top gadget of the year was iPhone 6, followed by Galaxy S5, and then Nexus 6 and the Apple Watch. The most searched for app of the year was Flappy Bird, which was also number 5 on the overall list. Now, if you want to see more of the top searches of 2014, go to www.google.ca/trends/top charts. And if you're curious about what the best YouTube videos of the year were, you can head on over to YouTube to see Zapato's channel's The Best of Web 2014 compilation video. This includes just under 7 minutes of the most popular videos of the year. And last, in gaming, Blizzard's free-to-play trading card game Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft is finally coming to, actually it has come to Google Play this week for Android tablets. After being exclusive on PC and iPad for gaming, CEO Mike Morhaime says that the company will also eventually bring the card game to more mobile platforms, including smartphones. This release includes access to the recent expansion set for 120 cards of goblins versus gnomes. This is a lot of fun. I've installed it on my Samsung tablet and enjoying it a lot. Now, this is similar to Magic the Gathering and other battle game card game type of games, and I recommend it if you would have a few minutes to sit down and enjoy a good card game. It will match you up with live people all over the world and also in your local area to play them. And that is it for the news of the week. Thank you for watching, liking, and commenting on this video. You can find links for today's stories in the video description below to find out more. Now, if you get some value out of the show, please share it with others so they can watch. I'm between around 30 to 35 views on each video. I'd like to get over 50, so please share it with your friends. Also, if you'd like to contribute your own audio to the show, or if you hear any other news that you would like me to share for the following show, please write to me at weeklygeeknewsshow@gmail.com. And a new show will be available soon. And once again, I'm not sure if I will do one next week because of the Christmas holiday, and I'll be off from work. And maybe I'll just find something I can do really quick. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope you have a wonderful Christmas time and time off from whatever you're doing, or if you're working, well, go ahead and sing some Christmas tunes while you are working. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful weekend.